Good morning. Hope you enjoyed that little cinematic intro. I wanted to do a quick video, obviously, about the Civivi Qubit. This is such a good knife. I just had to do a video on it, just dedicated to the Qubit. This will be kind of a review, but a little bit shorter. This, in my opinion, is Civivi's best knife, period. And I haven't tried them all, but I've looked at a lot of them, if not all of them, and if one caught my eye, I bought it. And I've been doing that ever since I've been collecting knives. So I don't think I'm missing one that's like super good that I don't know about. But if I am, let me know in the comments. But out of all the Civivis I've seen online or tried, which I've tried a lot, this is absolutely my favorite. The Civivi Qubit. So it's a button lock. It's got an aluminum handle, so it feels really nice and feels way more premium than it being only $65. Now the way they do this handle is so good. They rounded these edges. It's not a chamfer, it's an actual radius. It's been rounded off. It is unbelievably comfortable in your hands. I'm telling you, man. Even with the stock clip, it was really comfortable. But I actually added a Kaiser titanium deep carry clip that they sell on their website for about 15 bucks. I'll put a link to it down below if you want one. It fits it and it makes it even more comfortable. But I'm telling you, the clip it came with was actually, for Civivi, really good. Because Civivi wasn't always known for good clips, but this one had a good one. So I want to go over 5 points to convince you that this is the best Civivi. Number one is just the overall design and aesthetic. I think this is an absolutely beautiful design. It flows so nicely. This blade is just, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love it. I love nothing. I dislike nothing about it. Now, some people will say they don't like this little thing when it's closed. I agree. It's not the best looking thing, but honestly, I don't care what a knife looks like when it's closed. When it's closed, it's in my pocket. I don't see it. I care about what a knife looks like when it's open, because that's when I see it and I'm using it. And when it's open, you cannot deny that this is a beautiful knife. You cannot. Number two, the blade. This is such a good blade. It is unbelievably thin. Look at that. Look how thin it gets at the tip. This is just a little bit thinner, actually, thinner than a TRM Atom or Shadow. Thinner. Not by a lot, but a little thinner. Unbelievably thin. I mean, this thing slices like nobody's business. Unbelievable. The way that the tip is pointed down makes this really good for utility cutting, slicing, and kind of chopping where you're like rubber tubing, something like that. This is good at every kind of cutting. Every kind. It's almost like it's actually very similar to the Native 5 blade, which is an absolutely perfect blade. So this blade is perfect. Perfect for an EDC knife because it is good at everything. Number three, the action. I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of getting a little tired of button locks because they never have great detents. They're always a little mushy and they're just being overdone and they're not being done very well. But Civivi figured out the secret sauce because this thing is actually snappy. I've tried a lot of Civivi button locks. I've owned a lot of Civivi button locks. I've owned the Cogent, the Conspirator, the Altus, the Chevalier, and one or two others. But this is the snappiest of them all. Absolutely, hands down. This might be the snappiest thumb stud button lock I've ever tried. It's even snappier than the CJRB thumb stud Pyrite. It is snappy, dude. It even has a click. That's a really good sign. A lot of button locks don't really make that kind of nice crisp clicking sound. It's got actual like a crisp release. Man, I'm telling you, it's so good. It's fidgety as hell. You just place your thumb on that thumb stud, give a little pressure, and that thing's flying out. I love it. Ergos, absolutely hand melting. I don't feel anything besides just a really nice, comfortable grip. No hot spots, not even close to a hot spot. You can choke up. We have a nice choke up area here. And one thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about the blade is the sharpening choil and sharpening choil / choke up spot, and it's done real nice. Look at all that room we have for sharpening. They could have made it even better if they would have tightened up this radius, that plunge grind there. But even as is, we have all that real estate right in there for sharpening, which is great. And we can choke up, which, as you know, if you know me, I love it when I can choke up on a knife. I just love it. But even back here, if you want to like really grip the knife and push through a slice, you're nice and, well, you're not super close to the edge, but you're close enough. I don't feel super far away from it. But when I'm cutting cardboard, this is where I'm at right here. The cardboard can't slide into the choil and get caught. Slicing city, baby. So number 4 was the ergos. Hand melting, 0 complaints. Everything's rounded off. Really, really nice. And lastly, the price. This is $65, $66. That's crazy. I mean, until recently, we weren't even getting knives with aluminum handles for that cheap at all. The blade steel is 14C28N, which thank God it wasn't Nitro V. Thank you, Civivi. I don't know why they're starting to use more Nitro V, but I'm not a fan. The lack of billboarding on the blade at all is fantastic. I'm not a huge fan of the C there on the pivot, but if you're going to do branding, just put a little one on the pivot there. That's better than having writing on the blade, in my opinion. So this is an absolute steal. You're getting a knife that performs so well, a blade shape that is good for literally everything. This is an ultimate EDC knife because it does everything well. Action, incredibly snappy. Even for a regular like liner or frame lock, this is considered a nice snappy D10, and it's a button lock. The blade, unbelievably thin and slicey. Blade shape for everything. Ergos, hand melting, action snappy. Overall looks just sexy as hell. It almost reminds me of kind of like a Rosie mixed with like a Native 5, sort of. I don't know, man. If all that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. It's a 3-inch blade, a 4-inch handle, and 7 inches overall. We even get nice, even numbers for the measurements. I love that. 3, 4, 7. Bam! Get one, man. One tiny nitpick would be the color options they went with for the handles. You can either get like a bright blue, a bright red, or this blacked out. And I didn't really like the bright colors, so I went with the blacked out. And I usually don't go blacked out, but I actually kind of like it on this one. But like a satin blade with a gray handle or a black handle would be really sick. And what would be really sick is a premium version of this, titanium and I don't know, S45VN, something like that, an upgrade on the blade steel. I would buy that in a heartbeat. So there you go, folks. Just wanted to sing the praises of the Qubit here. I carry this more than any other budget knife. I have been carrying this over, my Manix in 15V, just because I love it so much. That doesn't happen to me a lot of time, hardly ever. Sometimes I have to remind myself to carry a budget knife. That's why I have Budget Tuesdays. Because when you have a 15V Manix 2 and you have a budget knife, you're kind of like, unless you need to do a review on the budget knife or whatever, but if you just want to carry a knife for work, I go for the Manix 2 a lot. But if it's between this and the Manix 2, it's pretty even, man. It's pretty even. I will grab this 50% of the time or more. I love it. That's it. I'll stop raving about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you soon. Adios.